Hey, it's Emily, and welcome back to EA Tarot. Today I am giving you guys my July wrap-up on both decks and books. So today we have, I want to see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 decks and 3 books that I have kind of been in and out of a lot this month, I guess. And so I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys. Let's get right into it. The first deck is probably an honorable mention at this point. This is a deck that obviously it means a lot to me. It's been in so many of my videos. This is the Witch's Tarot. I'm not going to take you guys fully through it because if you've been here for a little bit, you have definitely, you've definitely heard me gush about this deck enough, but it would be doing a disservice to my July decks if I didn't add it in here. So this is a deck that I use kind of, I don't even want to say kind of daily. I definitely use it daily. Sometimes I use it multiple times a day. Not necessarily always looking for great divine insight, but also just to kind of check in with myself and see where I'm at, what energies are around me, and kind of tune back in and ground into my body. And so, yeah, I really love this deck. I really appreciate it, but I'm not going to take you guys through the full card experience here because I have a ton of other videos on the channel, and I will drop them below where you can look at this deck in a bit more depth and really hear my thoughts and feelings on it. But yeah, I guess we could say this is just like an honorable mention, I suppose. But this is the Witch's Tarot. So another thing you guys are going to notice is that absolutely none of these decks are in their boxes just because they've been out and living and breathing in my workspace or on my altar. And so, yeah, you're just not going to find them in their boxes. The next deck that I have for you guys is the Rockstar Tarot. I've been loving this deck so much. This was a deck that I do have a full unboxing of on the channel as well, and if I can remember, I will drop that into the description box below. But I have been using this deck as a way to kind of get into my monthly overview calendar. And if you don't really know what I'm talking about, at like the front of every planner for each month, there's that monthly overview. It usually takes up 2 sides of the planner. And each month I kind of dedicate one deck that I have, and I pull from that deck each day and just jot down a few keywords that either arise intuitively or from the guidebook. And this helps me to, obviously keep myself in touch with the tarot, and it keeps my skill set, fresh, and I'm constantly adding new, intuitive insights to each card. I keep building, and it just keeps strengthening my bond with the tarot. And so it's a practice that I do really, really enjoy. And for the month of July, I did it with this deck, and it was really, really insightful, and it led to great music playlists and playlists that we kind of haven't heard in a while in our house. And so that was really fun. Quick story, I was taking my 15-year-old daughter to cheer camp over the summer, and as we were waiting in line for the gates to open, I had Jim Morrison playing, and she was like, "Oh, who is this?" And I was like, "This, my love, is Jim Morrison." She's like, "I am obsessed. I love it." She's like, "I love the sound of his voice." And so because of this deck, the kids are also widening their horizons when it comes to music, and it's been really nice. 9 Inch Nails, huge family favorite for all of us. But yeah, this has just been a really gorgeous deck. I love the variety of music that Mary has put into this deck. We don't just have like one specific genre. We have so many different artists from different backgrounds, and it's just been really, really illuminating and a really fun lens to kind of view the tarot through. I'm sorry, my voice is a little scratchy this morning. But yeah, it has so many different musical artists in here and so many different genres. It's just been really, really fun to either reconnect or explore different musical paths. And so intertwining that through the lens of tarot, like I said, has been really, really illuminating. Obviously, we have Stevie Nicks for the High Priestess. How could we not? She is a literal goddess in my book. Yeah, like Marvin Gaye, Carlos Santana. Oh my gosh, like so many amazing artists in here. Yeah, I love this deck. It's been, like I said, it was really, really fun. Here's a good old Ozzy picture. I know that his passing this month was definitely hard on the collective, and it was felt throughout. And so, yeah, like Tupac. We just have really, really good artists. But yeah, this deck has been really fun. I've been loving it. Kind of sad to put it away and not dip into it every day for August, but it might stay out on my work desk and keep itself there while I continue to work with it. So yeah, that's the Rockstar Tarot. You guys, it is like a really weird, kind of slightly overcast day here in the Sonoran Desert. Our weather's been getting pretty warm this past week, but it's kind of just cloudy this morning. And so my lighting may be a little different, but it's okay. The next deck that I have here is the Inner Ecology Oracle by Sarah Sugarman. I do have an unboxing of this deck on the channel. If you guys are on my Patreon, you should definitely check it out if you're not on it. But I use this deck a lot for my readings this month, and it was just a really beautiful deck to work with. And this kind of coincides with one of the books that I'll bring up when I'm done going through decks. We'll dive into books. But this really related to one of the books that I was reading, and it just kind of like set the tone. And it was just a really nice way to kind of ground in this summer and, just kind of like reconnect with the local flora and fauna of my landscape. And I really, really appreciated it. This deck is obviously it's very earth-based. We can get that from the title of the deck, but it's also a deck that I found that really loves to communicate around physical health. And so if you've been exploring any kind of or experiencing any kind of physical ailments or anything that's been kind of disrupting your physical body, you may want to grab a copy of this deck and kind of dive into those and see what it brings up for you. For me, I've been having some health issues this year, and I haven't been super open about them, but I don't know, slightly. If you're on my Instagram, you may know more. I tend to be a little bit more intimate on my Instagram, but this deck was just really, really good at reconnecting with my physical body and tuning into what it needs and how I can assist it and why I may be feeling a certain way that I'm not fully understanding in the moment. And so, yeah, this deck was great for a multitude of reasons, but I really love using it to get in tune with the physical body, as well as bringing divinatory clarity to my readings and into my day-to-day life. And plus, like, this deck just looks gorgeous when it is spread out. I think this is such a beautiful deck. Sarah is a phenomenal artist, and yeah, I mean, this deck, I think it deserves a lot more time, and it deserves to see a lot more action because it's gorgeous, and her write-ups in her guidebook are really, really good too. But yeah, I've just been loving this deck. So this is the Inner Ecology Oracle. Plus it has gilded edging. How can you not love that? It's a really cute and fun size. I just really appreciate this deck. Let's see, moving forward, I have the Wild Unknown. This is the Animal Spirit Oracle. Again, if you've been here for a little bit, you kind of know my feelings on Kim Kranz and her decks. But yeah, I did use this deck quite a bit this month, and I used it either in tandem with the tarot deck, which I'll show next, or just to kind of pull a card for myself and kind of see what animal energy is around, or maybe I spotted an animal during our evening walks or something, and I kind of wanted to see the animal medicine, I guess, that can be found there. And so I would pull, go through the deck, pull that specific card, hop over to her guidebook, and kind of read what it has to say. And so that was a really nice practice to have. Yeah, I appreciated it, and I thought it was sustaining and it felt right. And because our July, we did get a decent amount of rain here in the desert. We have a ton of frogs out right now. But yeah, we got a decent amount of rain, and so that definitely led to cooler evenings, which led to more time outside and evening walks with my kids. And yeah, it was just a really fun time to reconnect. And so I guess for these first few decks, a lot of it is very earth-based, for the pure fact that we were outside a lot this month, and it was really nice. And so I kind of have decks that reflect that, I guess you could say. So yeah, this is the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle. Moving right along, we are going to dive into the Wild Unknown Tarot. Obviously, not a surprise. I love this deck. I don't know, I guess honestly for July, I could say that it was a bit of a homecoming month, and I don't even know what that means, but it was very much like a Four of Wands, kind of like getting back into where I came from, I guess, deck-wise, specifically with these two Kim Kranz decks, because these were kind of the two decks that really started a collection for me. And so, oh, I didn't even see that, sorry. And so, yeah, I don't know. It was very much like a reconnection, deck-wise. And so that was really, really nice. I don't know. There's not a whole bunch to say about this deck. I feel like you either love it or you don't love it. And if you don't love it, I get it. But for me, it's a deck that I do hold really close because it was my first deck outside of the Rider-Waite that I picked up, and I also used to learn the tarot. And yeah, I love it. I appreciate it. I will say that this deck made its way, obviously, yes, into my Patreon readings. Also, if you booked one-on-one client readings with me this month, I most likely used this tarot deck specifically with the Inner Ecology Oracle. But this deck really came forward in some relationship readings this month, which I found to be very interesting because it's not necessarily a relationship deck in that sense, but it worked, and we had some really profound readings with it. And so, yeah, I found that was kind of interesting, but love this. Four of Wands for sure. I'm going to leave that there. Now, the next two decks that I'm going to show you are both decks that were sent to me this past month, and I really, really, really love them. I really, really appreciate them. They do have their own unboxings. Again, if I can remember, I will drop them into the description box. Please do not skip out on the description box, guys. I do my best to really make them as accessible to the decks that I'm showing, so you can kind of see where to purchase them if you like them, or where to view them in greater detail if you like them. So this is the Myth Oracle by Daniel Martin Diaz. Love it. I love it. I just did some videos not too long ago unboxing these decks, so I have not had them for very long. But they have been really, really, really sustaining in just the short time that I've had them. So I love this death card. This is a gorgeous death card. It is so beautiful. Again, we just have really, really gorgeous imagery here. I love his art style. I think it's no surprise as to why he is an internationally known artist. His artwork is phenomenal, in my opinion, and it deeply resonates with myself and my personal path. And so, yeah, I do really, really appreciate it. I think his art is absolutely gorgeous, but more than the art, his guidebook to this deck, and I could honestly probably just show you guys really quick. His guidebook to it is so poetic, and I'm reaching over my microphone right now to grab that guidebook, but here it is. It's just the words. There's no card imagery in here, but let's just look. Okay, change. We'll just start there. He does have a little table of contents at the beginning. I'm trying to find change. Why can I not see it in this moment? Okay, oh my gosh, card 5. I'm gonna just read you what he has. Okay, transition, witness, crossing. A tree stands at a center, half bare, half in full bloom. To one side, a skeleton lifts its hand in greeting. To the other, a robed figure watches in stillness. No fear, no resistance, just recognition. Something sacred is changed, not ended, but transferred. This card appears when you stand in the space between. What once gave you life now fades and something new approaches. Change does not ask permission. It arrives. It disrupts, but here it reveals its true face. Not chaos, but continuity. My bad. You are invited to witness your becoming. The skeleton is not here to take. The figure is not here to grieve. They meet beneath the tree because endings and beginnings are kin. Change is the sacred rhythm in existence. Reversed, it may indicate denial, clinging to what no longer fits. It may reflect fear disguised as control, or comfort confused with safety, but stagnation is the only real death. To embrace change is to honor its purpose. Stand between the branches, bow to what's fading, bless what's coming. You are not being undone, you are being remade. The tree shows us truth. Life continues through transformation. So, as you can see, his guidebook is insanely accurate, potent, and gives a really deep level of insight to this very simple word, I guess you could say. It's not simple as in easy or anything. It's just a common word. And it takes these common words and it really dives into them. And I love that for his decks. I've been working with this deck pretty intensely since I got it, and I am just continuously every day uncovering so much wisdom that can be found within it, and I really appreciate it. It speaks to the liminal very beautifully. There's a lot of skeletal reference, a lot of earth references, a lot of mythical references, and yeah, it's just a really gorgeous deck. I don't want to take too long. Let's keep going. Okay, so then the next deck that I have to show you guys is his Earth Magic Tarot. This deck has been out for obviously a little while, so I won't go too in depth with it, but it's been a gorgeous deck. I have been working with it in conjunction to his Myth Oracle, but I've also been working with the Myth Oracle on its own. However, I have not found myself using this tarot deck without the Oracle, if that makes sense. So I use the Oracle deck on its own. I will not use the tarot deck on its own without the Oracle. I feel like they just go too well together to not, I guess, right? So yeah, for me, this tarot deck is very much occult meets folk. And again, I have an unboxing. I kind of talk about those first impressions a little bit more, but this is a lovely deck. I've been really loving exploring the symbolism in it. The minor arcana can seem a bit pippish, which is not everybody's bag, but even though it is slightly pippish, we have like really sustaining imagery that you can kind of dive into. So for me, it's not like a typical pip style deck, because there is something to pull from, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is the Earth Magic Tarot. I love it. And the cardstock on his two decks are just luscious. They're like a glossy linen. They shuffle amazing. They feel great in your hands. They're just really, really beautiful decks. I think the last deck that we have before we get into our books is the Circle of Doors Tarot. Yeah, love it. I don't know. This was a carryover from last month's video. I feel like my lighting is getting really weird. I'm sorry. But yeah, I really appreciate this deck. It's gorgeous. How can you not love it? I've been diving into it. I've been dipping in and out of it. I feel like when it calls, and when it doesn't call, we sit in contemplative silence together, I guess. And so I love that. It's just been a really beautiful deck. Again, I know I spoke on this in the unboxing, but I am in no hurry to figure everything that there is to figure out about this deck. She's in it for the long haul, and I am too. And so I just can see myself growing with this deck literally as the years pass by. It's not going anywhere. It is staying right here in my collection. It'll be a deck that I reach for frequently. And yeah, I don't think this is the last time it's going to be in a monthly wrap-up video. So yeah, this is the Circle of Doors Tarot. Now, we've kind of made our way through the decks. I want to just chat for a quick second about books and just kind of show you guys a little bit about what I've been reading lately. So this one is no surprise. Again, if you're on my Instagram, I'm sure you've seen it around. This is The Altar Within, a devotional guide to liberation. This is the revised second edition by Juliet Diaz. I have all of Juliet Diaz's books. I purchased all of them right when they came out. And this time I was so kindly sent this edition by Rockpool for, review and to kind of share with you guys. And while I don't have it in its own video yet, I definitely will. I am wanting to read through it before I take you guys fully through it in like a review style wrap-up video. But nonetheless, I do want to share just a few things about it. It's been a phenomenal read, and I'm already 124 pages in. I read a lot of it yesterday, but I've been reading it for about the past week or so, and it's just been amazing. There are some differences. Now, I haven't read her first edition of The Altar Within since its first publication when it came out a couple years ago, so it's been a little bit. But in the past few years, if you don't follow Juliet, she has since left Instagram and I believe all like meta apps, I guess you could say. So she's only found on Substack and maybe one or two other that I'm not too familiar with. I'm on Substack. So I follow her on Substack. And if you're on Substack, you should also kind of give her a follow and subscribe to her content. But her publication is called The Altar Within. She has a couple, but I think this is like her biggest publication on Substack. And so basically she has really rooted into her activism over the past couple of years, and it's really shown within the writing of this book. So not only did she take the words that she had written in her first edition of The Altar Within, but she's really expanded on her, like I said, her activism. So again, I'm sorry with my throat. If you find yourself in an activist mindset of any kind, whether this is like political issues. I don't even like talking about this stuff because it hurts. No matter where you find yourself on the activist spectrum, I guess I can say, you will find sustenance in this book. Even if you're not, or even if you don't identify as an activist, but just a conscious human in today's modern day world, you will find sustenance in this book. We have themes like setting self-boundaries, and then we also have themes like living unmasked and talking about like the psychology of anger and how that has fueled some of the greatest political movements. And, I really love this quote that she had here, building a healthy relationship with the self. Every woman has a well-stocked arsenal of anger, potentially used against those oppressors, personal and institutional, which brought that anger into being. Like, it's just good. If you feel the feels of modern day living, you will probably find something in this book that sustains you. Now, like I said, it's not all about activism. A lot of it is re-indigenizing, and what does that mean to you? And re-indigenizing food and exercise and beauty standards and wellness and self-care and self-love. And you can stop the book there and take that for what it is, or you can take those themes and you can root it into your activism. And like I said, I'm not all the way done with the book yet. I'm only at page 124. This is a 243 page book roughly. So I do still have a little bit to go, but it's been really sustaining, and I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm not going to continue to talk about it. It's a beautiful read. I don't have to be all the way through the book to know that. And so if you're questioning on getting it, if you feel this like inkling in your heart to get it, fucking get the book. It's published by Rockpool. You can find it on their website. I'm sure you can find it on Amazon. Great book. Moving off from that rant, I did read a little bit into Condensed Chaos. This is a book that I've kind of been reading and dipping in and out of since June, I think. Yeah, a lot of good stuff in here. If you are a person who's interested in chaos magic or the approach to chaos magic, or if you're just curious about deepening your occult understanding and you feel like you want to read, I consider Peter Carroll to be like a classic, and I consider Phil Hine to kind of be like a classic when it comes to the occult. And so yeah, if you're into that, that's kind of like your jam. You might like Condensed Chaos. It does bridge some really cool gaps. And yeah, I mean, I didn't finish it. I kind of dropped out of it so I can get into the Altar Within. But yeah, I mean, it's been a good read. It's been a good book so far. It's very interesting. I think the world of chaos magic within itself is very interesting. And at the end of the day, I like to learn, and I like to see what resonates and learn what doesn't resonate, I guess. And so, yeah, that's kind of my philosophy when it comes to, I guess, magical approaches. So, lastly, I have this book. I have it on my Kindle because I don't know, I like my Kindle. I like reading from it from time to time. This is Desert Solitaire by Edward Abbey. I was reading this book in conjunction with the Inner Ecology Oracle, and that was really, really good. I am not very far into this book. I dip in and out of it. I kind of dip into it when I'm really wanting to kind of ground down and connect in with my earth element self, and kind of really want to connect elementally to some things that are going on. I'll kind of read a few passages from this book. It's really good. I don't even know where to kind of begin with it. Basically, it's Edward Abbey's memoir through being a park ranger in the Utah National Arches Park. I don't think I put those words in the correct order, but you get what I'm saying. And so, yeah, it is a really good read about nature and about how this man specifically connected in with nature. And like one part of the book that I really, really enjoyed was they gifted him a little single wide trailer to live in for the summer while he was a park ranger at the Arches National Park. And because of that, it was a little single wide trailer that no one had lived in for quite a while, so it had mice. And then because it had mice, it brought the rattlesnakes, and he tried and didn't really want to kill the rattlesnakes. So what he did is he befriended a gopher snake, and there was this gopher snake that would hang out underneath the steps of his single wide, and one day he kind of like caught the snake and brought it inside to his house, and the gopher snake ran off the rattlesnakes and also ate the mice. And so it just really put into perspective like how everything is so interconnected, and I really, really loved that reading. Excuse me. And so, yeah, as someone who lives in the desert and we have mice and rattlesnakes and gopher snakes, just knowing that a gopher snake is obviously a natural enemy to a rattlesnake, I don't know. I really, really loved it. It was really, really beautiful. I am only, I want to say like 12 to 15% in, not very far, but from what I've read so far, I really love. And yeah, just kind of like learning how this man kind of moved within the ecosystem that he was in, I have found to be really, really enriching when it comes to my own personal life and practice. So I'm going to stop there, but sorry about that. I really, really appreciate you guys for joining me today. I hope this was a good video. Other than my voice constantly going in and out, I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I found it sustaining and I found it beautiful, and I had a lot of good revelations and things that I learned this month, and I was happy to kind of jump in over here and share them with you. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have a whole bunch else to say. Sorry, I'm trying to grab some of my decks, but yeah, I don't know. Here's a few of them. Thank you guys for joining me today. And as always, I appreciate you for spending your infinite time with me, or finite time with me. Not infinite. My head is not in it today. I appreciate you guys for spending your finite time with me, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.